Where were we? What was happening? Load game. Did I not go through this already? Alright, so there was this kid who fucked with our food, so we didn't get to eat anything, so we got pissed off and wrecked the whole canteen, I think. Then this is the big boss, Chick Olga. She told us to clean up together and we just ran away, and now we came back and she's pissed. Don't you? Wait, I'm pretty sure I've already read this. Don't you have some explaining to do, young man? Now I remember what I've gotten. Nope. How was your cleaning duty? Yeah, I have done this. And we're skipping. Yeah, right, we did all this. Oh, damn it. I remember now. I put my new saves down here. Alright, this is the second day. I was going ahead to head for breakfast. Right, new day. When somebody knocked at the door. It's Lena. Good morning. We've been flirting like crazy with Lena. Yeah, good morning. It's taken aback a bit. The events of the previous day were still fresh in my memory, but I didn't really want to speak about them. You're probably looking for Olga, aren't you? Well, no. I mean, yes. Lena was her usual self, shy and easily embarrassed. That dance on the pier, now it seemed no more than a dream. She's not here, I'm sorry. Okay then, I'll go. Okay. When Lena left, I thought that I had been too cold towards her, so I decided to be nicer on our next encounter. Still, regardless, the morning was shining and beautiful. The bright sun was shining over the space and time-displaced pioneer camp Sobunyok, warming its residents and filling them with energy to spend the day productively. Or in my case, to waste it in futile efforts to find an explanation for everything happening to me. Alright, this guy is such a liar. He's like a broken record. He's talking about this all the time. Oh, I'm gonna try out what's happening here because he's been magically teleported to this place, and he wakes up every day and he says, I'm gonna find out something, and every hint he gets, it's like, nope, nothing to see here, and just ignores it. So annoying. There was an unusually large crowd near the canteen. Of course, there was no other place in the camp that pioneers loved as much as the canteen. But why were they all crowding on the porch? I came closer to find out what was going on. I think I've seen this already. Yep. No? It looked like all the camp had gathered on the porch. They were all familiar girls. Olga and Electronic. Alright, yeah. This is when Shurik disappears, right? No, we're going to the beach. And since I'm cheating, we need to go and do some cheating. Looking for Shurik, you can only choose 2. I'm pretty sure I checked the bus stop. So I can go to the bus stop again? Wait, what? Or did I go to the boathouse? Boathouse? Elisa's Revenge. I don't remember going with someone, but it seemed like a fine choice. A strange thought came to me, across me. Perhaps Shurik is in the same situation as me, so he decided to run away from this camp, maybe by the 410 bus. It could really turn out to be true if he came here by accident too. although the chances of that are quite slim. But you never know. What if the bus would really come? However, I could hardly believe in that. Indeed, I spent a couple of minutes waiting at the bus stop, made sure that there were no signs of Shurik or anyone else here, and headed back to the camp. Somebody rushed out of behind the gates and bumped into me. The impact wasn't strong, so I just staggered. Mika stood in front of me and rubbed her bruised forehead. Oh, sorry. It's all right. It's my fault. I was going to the music club, but I got lost in thought about a new song. Thinking up the lyrics and music. I hadn't realized how I got here. Does that really happen? You don't have to apologize. Her words per minute rate obviously exceeded the recognition limits of my brain. I made an attempt to retreat promptly. Sure, gotta go, Oh, wait. I wanted to leave as usual without having to listen to her, but Mika grabbed my hand. Her grasp gave me the creeps as I got a clear vision of an agonizing execution by another rap session. Can you help me a little, please? Just a teensy-weensy bit? That definitely wasn't on my to-do list today. Well, I'll be glad to, but it's pretty please. Mika looked at me with such a puppy dog eyes that my heart started to melt. She totally wasn't going to let go of my hand. And what help exactly do you need? You'll accompany me. I can't manage to compose on my own. I can sing or play. I can't do both at the same time. Even our virtuoso has her weaknesses. Well, I can't really play any instrument. Never mind that. I'll show you everything. Come on, let's go. Guessing go with Miku? I mean, it seems like, it has no difference. So I might as well go with her. Since I'm gonna play this again, and I probably need to go talk to her again. So I can skip it the next time. On the other hand, I'm not losing anything. However, she dragged me along with her. Probably nothing good will come of this, but the only way to get her off me is to wrestle my hands out of hers. But that wouldn't be very nice. Nothing bad will happen after all, probably. Within a minute, we were already standing in the music club. Mika took a guitar. Here, have a look. Oh, nice. That's not too shabby. She sat down and started playing. I tried to follow her hands. The tune seemed quite simple. It seemed quite easy to repeat it. Got it? Kind of. Let's try. I took the guitar and started playing. That didn't really work out. Let me show you one more time. She played much better than me. Looking at Mika, I wondered. Of course she was a chatterbox. She was naive and clumsy. However, she was extremely talented in music. Try again. I managed much better the second time. Wow, that's much better, she smiled. It wasn't hard, in fact, just to repeat the same notes over and over. Just don't lose track. Start on my command. Okay, ready, go. It was a song in Japanese. Frankly speaking, I didn't understand a single word, but Mika's singing was quite good. In fact, it was outstanding. She put her heart in every note, every word. Is someone strangling my cat? What's going on? Oh, no, oh. Mika singing. Yeah, music probably is the very thing for her to dedicate her life to. It seemed like it wasn't her who chose the music, but the music that was chosen that has chosen her. The last half an hour presented me in a completely different light. Oh, thank you. Did you like it? I finally managed it with you. On my own, it's not so good. I either mess up with the words or miss the strings. And it's just perfect with you. Thank you so much. You really have talent, you know? Just to play like that without any preparation. Nope, it seems I've changed my opinions about her too hastily. Thanks for the song. Gotta go, see ya. Thanks for... and be out. The rest of her words were left behind the door. I leaned on the wall of the club cabin and sighed. Miko's song was still playing in my mind. Oh. So let's do some more cheating. Anna in infirmary. Wait, what? Oh, I have to do all of those things. Pretty sure I went to the forest. Search with Slavia. But it's still a stupid idea. Still a stupid idea. Sure, it was hiding anywhere in the camp. He would have been found by now. Of course, assuming that he wants to be found. Seen this before? No. So I hardly think I can help them. Together with this thought, I entered the cabin and stretched myself on the bed. Nothing good will happen if Olga finds me here. Stop, enough. Am I just some trembling creature, or do I have the rights? I don't like that word. That word does not like rights. That assumes, like, speaking about human rights. I have no human rights. Like, where would they come from? Doesn't make any sense. I didn't want to do anything anyway. The day was just as hot as the previous ones, and the only thing to do was to stay in bed and wait for lunch. So depressed, sleeping all the time. I was just falling asleep when somebody knocked on the door. Oh, Kusuk Dorba is here. No, Kusuk Dorba. It's a reference only Russian could understand about the rights. All right. Oh, there's something lost in translation here. But still, even if something is lost in translation, I mean, we hear people talking about rights in all languages, like human rights and whatnot. And I disagree with the assessment that that is a real thing that exists. Because where would they come from? Like, who decides what our rights are and what our rights aren't? The whole idea doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm guessing that Trembling Creature, or Do I Have Rights, is yeah, from a Dostoevsky book. I've been meaning to read those, but I haven't gotten around to it. Well, maybe not those, but like Crime and Punishment, and there's another one. I was just falling asleep when somebody knocked at the door. Oh, come on in. Slavia stood on the doorstep. Kusuk Dobra says exactly from there. Hmm. That's one of those canon books, like Crime and Punishment. That's kind of must read. I haven't gotten around to. Same as Dune. Probably Dune is next on my list. Well, no, not really. Next on my list is To Burn in Memory. Next on my list. Flavia stood on the doorstep. Olga isn't here, is she? Nope. And what are you doing? She asked with suspicion. I looked over myself, lying on the bed, and said, lying down? Nice. Smooth. I can see that. But I heard Olga ask you to find Jurek. Well, yes, and what's the point? I'm sure he's already turned. I'm sure she has already turned the whole camp upside down. Not much time has passed. Why should we panic? You know, stuff could happen. Flavia looked at me thoughtfully. Get up. Do I have to? I was so worn out that even the thought of going somewhere frightened me. Yes, you do. Flavia was not a person who I could never say no to. Ever. I stood up reluctantly and went out of the cabin with her. We stood at the doorway for some time, relaxing in the beams of the summer sun. No, I was rather frying. Where shall we go? We have to look everywhere. Great idea. Just great. The first stop on our route was the library. Oh, damn it. I just remembered. Twitch thinks playing Path of Exile still. Let's fix that real quick. Remember last in summer. Slavia went to Shenya, sitting at the table, and spoke to her. I just stood in the doorway. I didn't want to communicate with this librarian any more than necessary. A few minutes later, Slavia came back to me. So? Nothing. She shook her head, as expected. The canteen still had time before lunch starts. So, there was no usual crowd of pioneers. It was empty inside and outside of the building. While Slavia was talking to cooks, I was sitting and playing with the salt shaker. Some salt spilled out of the pot. Certainly, I would be worried if I was superstitious. Strangely enough, he wasn't here either. It would be unexpected if she had found him, for instance, in the refrigerator. The next stop, according to our plan, was the infirmary. I decided not to go inside and waited outside for Slavia. No result. There were pioneers playing football on the sports ground. It would be hard for Jurek to get lost among them. Finally, we reached the clubhouse. You'd think he could be here? I think that this is the first place that people would have searched. Let's go in. Empty inside. Slavia opened the door and went to the next room. I followed her. This all seemed to me to be a stupid undertaking. This was strange, especially because it was Slavia's idea. I mean, I understand responsibility and so on, but isn't it obvious that he isn't in the camp? After all, he isn't playing hide and seek with us, is he? No one's here either. What did you expect? He'd be sitting in a closet? Well, seems like I had offended her. Well, since I can see in the future and I know where we find him, it's kind of he's just sitting in a closet. That's pretty much exactly what he's doing. It's not a closet, but almost. It seems like I have offended her. Sorry. But seriously, I understand. Do we have to check all possibilities? Okay, listen, what do you really think? About Jurek's disappearance? Yes. Maybe he went into the forest and has been caught by a forest spirit. She laughed at that. A fabulous story. However, in this camp, you never know. Yeah, true that. But now isn't the time for jokes. Cheer up. We'll find him. I hope so, Slavin smiled. Well, I still have some things to do. See you later. She left, but I was standing there for some time, staring at the cybernetics club's closet. I went for lunch with mixed feelings, with a sense of accomplishment and with the realization of time wasted. Swish! I'm pretty sure I haven't been here. Did I say just asking? Well, of course I'm gonna go with Lena, since that's what we're doing. I think you look gorgeous. Thank you. It's alright, I'm just being completely honest. We were quiet for some time. Oh, room. I don't remember what I did. Probably did overdose. That sounds like something I would pick. Got food poisoning from the canteen? Considering the local cuisine, it's not that surprising. Oh? Maybe. She smirked. I see you're still alive and kicking. Well, I'm not complaining. Bye! Liana ran out of the infirmary, slamming the door. Again, I went back to studying Soviet fashion trends, and boom. I'm pretty sure I did not ask. So let's ask. What is it? Nothing? I did ask, damn it. And I did give it to her, I'm pretty sure. So let's not give it to her. Really? Stomachache? Really? Doesn't seem so. What? Do I have to toss my lunch all over the place for you to believe me? She hates me. I don't know what terrible things can be done with activated carbon, but I'm sure you will think of something. She hesitated. And what if you're right? There. I knew it. Then I'm certainly not giving you anything. Lisa tried to get to the drawers, but I blocked the pillbox with my chest like Alexander Matrosov. Who's that? Alexander Matrosov was a Soviet infantry soldier during the Great Patriotic War, posthumously awarded the title of the Hero of the Soviet Union for blocking German machine gun with his chest. For all her impudence, she was still just a girl, and she had no chance of pushing me aside. Whatever, I'll find it somewhere else. She turned away and headed to the exit. At the door, Elisa stopped and looked back. By the way, the camp leader and the nurse are carrying a pioneer with a broken leg. I really don't care, but they seem to be struggling. Yeah, sure. Come see for yourself. Lisa seemed to be lying, but on the other hand, as long as I can see her. Came to the door and looked outside. No one was there. Where exactly? They haven't reached here yet, then? She made a helpless gesture. Have fun. I returned to the table and only then realized that one of the drawers were open. How did she make it so quick? Turned my back for just a second. Though, what evil can come from activated carbon? It was 15 minutes to dinner, woo! I'm pretty sure I did not eat the apple. Yeah, I did not eat the apple. So, let's eat the apple. Yes, it's the apple. Finally, hunger prevailed, and I started chewing on the ripe green apple with gusto. Taste seemed normal, though I don't think that even the strangest poison can be tasted. But it's too late to think about that. It was time to go for dinner. Oh, wait a minute. Carbon. Carbon that you stole from the first aid kit. Wait. Stole from the first aid kit. Why exactly the monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? Fighter for the rights of? I can hardly imagine how long she would have kept on scolding Alisa if Electronic hadn't popped out of that very moment, shouting, "He found a shoe!" Oh, go with Lena, I suppose. Yeah, let's go with Lena. That seems like a no-brainer. I won't have to go there alone, will I? Olga thought for a moment. You may be right. We'll go together tomorrow. The last few minutes I noticed that Lena had a strange look on her face, as if she wanted to say something but didn't dare to. The pioneers started to disperse, as if they had forgotten about Elisa and the explosion. Even our leader seemed to calm down and didn't react when the wannabe tourists left the square, hiding behind Juliana. "We should go too," said Olga. Yes. Night quickly fell on the camp. There's only a brief moment between the first rays of the setting sun till complete darkness here in the south, or maybe in this world. You don't have enough time to enjoy the variety of the sunset colors. It was too early to go to bed, but the leader confidently walked to her cabin, as if mentally dragging me with her. "Olga, I'll take a little walk." "Okay." She looked at me intently, but didn't find any reason to object. Shrugged her shoulders and kept on walking. I went back to the square. I didn't really want to look closely at the trivial damage done to the Genda statue. It was at the exact center of the camp. If you don't know where to go, you should start from there. I sat on the bench and looked to the west. I wonder if the Earth here revolves around its axis as it should, or whether there was an actual north or south. It's hard to say. This time I didn't have any ideas on how to check on the fundamental laws of nature. Not a scientist, I see. "Hi," says Lena, while she appeared next to me as if out of nowhere. "Hi, can't sleep?" She looked at me in surprise. "Well, yes, it's still early. May I sit?" "Oh, yes, of course, sit down." I moved over a little bit. Saying a little was in fact an understatement. I actually shifted myself to the end of the bench. "Thanks." Then I sat and looked at the sky as if she had forgotten about me. It's sad. What's sad? The Zurich disappeared. Yeah, things aren't too good. She was as calm as usual, keeping silent most of the time. She blushed and felt embarrassed only when she had to speak or do something. That same silence, which could be seen as awkward by many people, including myself, was quite natural for her. I could hardly imagine Lena making an effort to carefully choose the right words to start a conversation or make a good remark, trying not to look stupid, or alternatively trying not to look as rude as Alisa. I just wasn't able to compare her to anyone. She was just content with being herself. Does that mean that my attempts to start a conversation with her could be seen as rude? That the expression "become friends" could be interpreted as an intrusion into her private life? That's the problem of being an introvert. People question if they should talk to you or just leave you alone. The answer is no, it's not rude. It's never rude to talk to someone. It's just you have to carry the conversation, that's all. There's something in this girl attracts me. Wonder what attracts him. Maybe it was her mysteriousness. She certainly wasn't lacking in appearance or feminine charms. Yeah, she has some feminine charms, that's for sure. Didn't have an answer for that. That's why I still haven't been openly accused of being annoying. I'm sure he'll be found. How can you escape from a submarine? So, went way over my head. Lena didn't seem to appreciate the joke. This camp must seem like a large submarine to me only. I hope so. Tomorrow, Olga will call the police. They'll find him for sure. What if during the night? Her expression grew sad. What if something happens to him? Alone at night in the forest, anything could happen. He must be lonely. No one forced him to go there. What if he just got lost? He shouldn't go walking in the forest alone. You don't have any pity for him at all. Sure, he may be sitting there all alone. Of course I pity him. Felt ashamed. In any case, Lena was right. A person was missing. Anything could happen during the night. We aren't seriously going to search for him now, are we? She didn't reply, still looking somewhere far away, where the last rays of the sun shined over the tops of the old trees, as if trying to leave a bit of its warmth with the people. Do you really think that roaming around in the forest in the dark is a good idea? Probably not. For some reason, I was sure that was exactly what she thought. Recently, I seem to be starting to understand Lena even without words more often, and she seemed to be influencing me psychologically, making me agree with her. Lena's silence was more informative than any chatter or attempts at persuasion. They looked for him during the day already. Everywhere? She stopped watching the sunset and looked at me. Don't know, I think everywhere. What about the old camp? For the first time her words sounded self-assured and not vague or indifferent. Where is it? I have no idea. Electronic trouble. Well, if you trust him. I grinned stupidly, but Lena kept looking at me seriously. Sure, if it's not too far. So, do you want to go? Of course I don't. Can, if it's just there and back. Again. Quickly. Okay. Lena smiled and gave me a flashlight, which appeared from nowhere. Yes, that'll be useful. Does this mean she prepared beforehand? And nothing was up to me? Probably. I sighed as if doomed and headed to the forest with her. Night fell on the camp. We walked slowly. Lena was next to me, near but not too close. It was strange, but it looked like she wasn't afraid of anything. Moreover, she didn't seem to be bothered much about what we were doing, as if we weren't walking in the forest at night, but just watching a movie with other people playing lead roles. Actually, Electronic said that the old camp was not far, and if we walked straight to it, it wouldn't be hard to get lost. After a few minutes, I was completely unsure where we were walking. After a few minutes, I was completely unsure that we were walking straight, and after a few more, it started to seem that it would be a miracle for us even to get out of here. But I didn't want to lose face before Lena, so I tried to walk cheerfully. The forest was full of silent, flickering shadows and gleaming moonbeams. The grass quietly rustled under our feet, and the branches rustled over our heads. Old oaks stood next to young birches. Large mushrooms emerged from under the latter, as if taking off their large hats in salute. On any other day, or rather any other time of the day, it would have looked really beautiful. It may be safe at night too, but nevertheless I shuddered at each gust of wind. Look! Lena pointed forward. I rubbed my eyes and saw the gap between the trees. In a minute we were in a rather large clearing. In the middle of it stood a building which looked like a village school or kindergarten. Painting was The painting was falling off the walls. There were several holes in the roof, like the aftermath of a bombing, and the glassless windows looked at us sadly and a little threatening. Oh, already seen this. It was not a very pleasant sight. I couldn't remember how I'd imagined this place a moment ago. It was like all the images had been erased from my memory, replaced by this depressing graveyard view. Well, it's creepy. Then I was still standing silently, but a natural expression of fright appeared on her face. Do you think it's in there? I have no idea. If I was Shurik, then a haunted house would be the last place I'd hide in. Shall we go? I didn't manage to answer. The moon appeared from behind the clouds and illuminated the clearing with new colors. Actually, in one color, the white of the grave. I could see more clearly the distant trees, the mists shrouding them. It felt like the temperature dropped several degrees, making me shiver. Are you afraid? Asked Lena calmly. Honestly? She smiled almost imperceptibly and took my hand. It would have caused a storm of emotion in any other situation, but at the time it felt like a basic necessity. We slowly walked to the building. Walking through this playground, I pushed the merry-go-round, causing it to creak nastily. It made a half-turn. Lena shivered and grasped my hand tighter. Sorry, I probably just remembered my childhood. Did you like merry-go-rounds? Yes, actually. I don't know. I don't remember. Probably. All children liked them. I didn't like them. Why? I got dizzy when I rode them, said Lena. No wonder if you spin too fast. I like the swings more. Well, I can get dizzy on the swing as well. I liked swings more, but I liked merry-go-rounds as well. We didn't have many merry-go-rounds, though. Not on the playgrounds I played as a child. Mostly swings. And, what are they called? Like, you go down, sit on it, and it bumps down. Well, you can get dizzy on a swing as well. Why would you? I don't know. That conversation had distracted me a little, and I stopped worrying myself about everything, about Shurik, about our night trip, about Lena. After all, this world is not so alien. Finally, we reached the doors. The inside of the old camp building reminded me of a kindergarten, the one I attended in my childhood. At the first glance, even the room arrangement was the same. Shurik! Shurik! We shouted. Grave-like silence replied to us. Even the wind outside had calmed down. Looks like nobody's here. We should check anyway, says Lena. Lena's courage still didn't cease to surprise me. Or should I say, her lack of normal self-preservation instinct didn't. I don't know if this behavior is strange for a girl or not. Okay, let's do it. We thoroughly examined all the rooms at the old camp. I even inspected the attic. There were signs that people had visited this place everywhere. Newspapers, empty bottles, and other garbage, but there was no sign of Shurik. We returned to the hall where we had started our search. What should we do next? I have no idea. Lena sat on the steps and stared at her feet. I think we should go back, I began carefully. It's late, and can just the two of us really search the entire forest for him? You may be right. She looked sad, and her expression let me know that the search was not over yet. Well, I am, waved my hand in resignation, sat next to her. We should think about the worst outcome. Are you saying? No, but are there any wild animals around? I doubt it. Lena calmed down at once. Maybe sleeping somewhere, and wake up in the morning and return to camp. Yes, of course. I jumped to my feet and started to walk in circles around the hall. I really wanted to leave this place, to get out from the forest, but it was as if Lena's behavior was keeping me here. I wanted to go on, trying to persuade her, but then I noticed something on the floor. It was a trapdoor. There were little heaps of garbage and dust around it. It must have been opened recently. Look! Do you think Shurik's there? Lena squatted and carefully pulled on the hatch's handle. It may not be Shurik, but someone surely used it recently. I had already regretted finding the damn gate to hell. Seek it out? The trapdoor wasn't very heavy, so you could open it without much effort. I directed the flashlight into it and saw a ladder going down a couple of meters. Like a cellar. Let's go down. I looked at Lena for a few moments, trying to understand what was on her mind. Did she have a craving for adventure, like Uliana? So where is her useful spirit then? Or maybe she just went a bit nuts. Lena didn't seem like a crazy person. But anyway, who even said she's really human? And you can evaluate her with human behavioral logic. That thought should have scared me, but somehow I didn't pay it any attention among the millions of other thoughts. Some of them were more important. For example, what would be down there? I climbed down and looked around. Everything is okay. After I made sure that there was nothing to be afraid of, I called Lena. We stood in the long corridor, which certainly wasn't a cellar. Its architecture more resembled KGB dungeons or subway maintenance tunnel. I don't know which would be better. There were countless wires along the walls, fastened by metal hooks every half meter. There were lamps under the ceiling, covered by rusted shades. Crumbled concrete crunched under our feet unpleasantly. Shall we go? Lena without any emotion. Where to? There? Well, yes. What if Shurik is there? What could he be doing there? In any case, I wasn't really able to refuse her today, so we forgot about her affair and headed into the darkness. Lena walked next to me, holding my hand. The silence of the dungeon was interrupted only by the sound of our steps and water dripping from the ceiling. We moved forward slowly, maybe too slowly. I suddenly felt a surge of claustrophobia. No, Skywalker. Psst, psst, psst. Psst, psst, psst. Come over here. Psst, psst, psst. Suddenly felt a surge of claustrophobia. I gritted my teeth and squeezed the torch, but loosened my grip at once, fearful of breaking our only light source. Well, that would be a terrible light source if you could break it with only your grip. Then I kept silent, and her silence seemed louder than any words. I started to fear. Say something. Door. What? There's a door. She pointed forward. We came to a massive metal door with a biohazard sign. It's not a biohazard sign. Last time I was here, I had to Google that. But that's a radiation sign, not a biohazard one. Looks like a bomb shelter, indeed. Yes, I'd heard something about it. Why is it here? I have no idea. Maybe because of the Cuban Missile Crisis? Cuban? I estimated the approximate time of construction the camp. Makes sense. However, building a bomb shelter here was like building an airport at Faggot in Northumberland or Lacock in Wiltshire in the UK. Wait, what? Right, if you say so. It wasn't deep enough and too far from civilization. The door wheel only creaked. I had to push it with all my strength before it turned a couple of times. I made up my mind and opened the door with difficulty. We entered the room, which seemed to be the main living quarters. There were some beds, cases, some scientific equipment. They had been thoroughly prepared for a nuclear apocalypse. We didn't find any sign of shirt here. Look, said Lena. Then I was holding a flare gun and smiling. Why would you need it? To fight monsters. There are no monsters here. No monsters here. At least I wanted to believe that. If you say so, I guarantee it. I didn't want to upset her, so I tucked the flare gun into my belt. Might come in handy. We thoroughly searched the room once again. There were two exits. First was the door we had entered, and the other one was a door exactly in this. The other one was another door exactly in the same in the left wall. For a moment I felt excited, the urge to reach the end of this labyrinth, to learn what prize awaited me there. However, this surely was my computer game. And there is no option to save. Actually. Just because he said that. It's gonna go on for a couple more minutes, but I couldn't resist. So we've saved. And we're done for today. Continue here from tomorrow, probably, for lunch.